To tell Blake or not to tell Blake? That seems to always be the question on Dynasty. Alexis is back, and the more Fallon we get, the better it is. We see so much Fallon in this one, as we all need to find our inner female selves to get rid of the patriarchy. We are talking Dynasty Season 2, Episode 17, How Two-Faced Can You Get? The AfterBuzz after show starts right now.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
It's just such a crazy episode. So much happened. It's it's AfterBuzz. This is a lot to talk about. I mean,
wow. And you always have the most amazing, perfect intro to tell everyone what happened. It's like, it's crazy.
Thank you, wonderful Barbie-esque co-host.
Thank you. I don't look like a Barbie.
You look like
I'm wearing pink right now.
You should be a character on Dynasty. I'll tell you that.
I wish. And I could be Fallon's friend.
You would be Fallon's best friend. You would be Fallon's best friend. I could see that. She would ask you for style advice. You guys would do your nails together because you just did your nails.
I just did my nails. I did it myself. I'm like designing nails myself.
Very Fallon of you. But you aren't on Dynasty. What you are on is the AfterBuzz After Show right here at AfterBuzz, where we talk all things CW Dynasty. We are getting into Season 2, Episode 17. How two-faced can you get? We're going to discuss the Fimperial Publishing, that Fimpire that Fallon is working on. We get so much Fallon in this episode, and it's such a wonderful story arc. Under that, we get the publishing of Let Your Soul Glow. Gloria Collins makes her appearance. That's a wonderful character. And of course, Liam's back. Liam Ridley, or should we call him John Southside? We're not sure. We get a little bit of this enlightened Jeff, or is he so enlightened? Jeff Colby is back as well. Adam and Jeff, wow, that's a matchup for the ages. It sounds like a ding, ding, ding. Definitely a pay-per-view fight. What's Blake up to? No one knows. Or do they? Cristal's family warning. Michael is a big boy. Or at least that's what he thinks. Kirby and Michael. Kirby and Fallon. And here's the thing. We finally get a new face on Alexis, and it's not who you think. And trust me, it's a whopper. We're going to talk some news and gossip. Our favorite game, Where Are We? Where we literally talk about the best outfits on the show. And of course, our wonderful predictions. I am not alone. I am your host, but I am joined by the queen of the after show. Our own Fallon, Maddie Pocks, is in the building.
Minus personality, maybe like just looks or something. I'm not as bitchy as her, I think.
But you have a lot of personality. Let's not hold back the fact that you have a lot of personality.
Yeah, okay. I'm Maddie Pocks. I'm so happy to be back. Let's discuss this episode. We missed, or they had a little gap between air days, so I'm excited to get back into this.
Well, what was your overall thoughts of this episode in particular?
Well, we talked when I was watching it mid-episode, and I said, there's not that much happening. And then you're like, just wait. So everything kind of escalated in the second half.
Oh, it went from 0 to 100 really quick, right?
It was, oh my gosh. I'm so happy I finally get to see what Alexis looked like. And she looked a lot like Fallon. Did you find that?
That's the whole point. It's not that I found it. That's the point.
No, I know.
It's actually played. Alexis is now going to be played by Fallon. So remember, CW and Dynasty had kept it under wraps. It was a huge secret. Who is the actor who's going to replace for Alexis? Who's going to replace? And guess who it is? It is Fallon. Fallon is the actor playing it. So who gets to play? It is still Elizabeth Jollies.
Oh, she's so both. Funny.
She's both.
Yeah. And then we'll just have to see how Fallon reacts to that, because you know how she is with her mother.
Of course.
But John Southside, aka Liam, I found that Ghost Rider name really funny as well. And
definitely a poor name.
Yeah.
John Southside.
And the beginning of the episode, obviously I thought they weren't going to get along. And then obviously that I knew they would reconnect at some point. So our predictions were right.
So we'll see how that plays out.
See how that goes.
It's something this episode, but it was, like I said, everything lasted to the end. And what else about the episode stuck out in your mind?
Well, we all know Adam is still crazy.
Is he? Brilliant.
He's crazy.
He's a sociopath. Crazy.
Well, a lot of sociopaths are brilliant.
Yeah.
So, he's working his way in there, and I am really scared for Jeff because he's not going to last one day and then we see at the end the poisoning and I don't really know exactly. Something happened.
Exactly. That's the concept.
He poured it into a champagne holder, right?
He poured it into the paint. So it's something we're looking to possibly see if it's
in the paint.
something
I thought,
that affects the paint.
Well, either way, it's in his office.
And just to let everyone at home know, our own brilliant sociopath is working the board. Steph Sabra will be holding down the fort. So if you comment, we would love to hear from you. We enjoy the chat so much and your theories. Thank you. So, overall thoughts, this was one of my favorite episodes. Okay, there was a point at the Dynasty where I was like, what are the points of these episodes? And now we are on that roller coaster ride ever since Adam was introduced. Now we started getting to the crux of everything that's happening. Everything's being set up. These are all actual, not just bridges to the next episode, but they're filling in gaps and they're setting up so much. So now we have this Fempire that Fallon's working on. We have the Atlantics. That seems to be something that may or may not bring Blake down. We're seeing Adam building up to a rivalry and possibly a murder of Jeff. I wonder what happens if we have no Jeff on the show. We have Kirby and Cole Hain. That's going to be fireworks. We have Alexis looking like Fallon and even stating, oh, I look younger in the voice. I mean, it was just so much. It was such a good, wonderful, in-depth episode. I can't wait to discuss some things. Let's start off by talking about the Fempire, the Fempirial Publishing. This is the publishing company, of course, that Fallon purchased after they basically nixed her book last episode. She did the Fallon thing to do, which billionaires seem to be able to do as they please, because while money can't buy happiness, it does buy publishing firms. And she bought the publishing firm that denied her and basically fired everybody that wasn't on her side.
Yeah, I love the line where she goes, "We're not going to publish your book," and he goes, "Well, you have to pay me $6 million if you don't."
Being, of course, Liam.
Oh yeah, Liam says you don't have to. No, you don't have to publish my book, but you still have to pay me $6 million
buyout.
And she goes, "Oh yeah, that's fine. We can do it."
Like it's nothing.
Like it's
and
nothing.
It does seem like they have unlimited money because they do a lot of things where I'm like, wait, I know they're billionaires, but they're not trillionaires. They're just
it's always like, let's hand a check for $10 million. That's fine. But you know, it was really skeezy of her to kind of take his whole publishing idea and his party and all his fans and put it onto that Glow lady. Well,
it wasn't his fans. So she promoted Gloria Collins and her book, and so her fans showed up. But it was a planned party that was for Liam's book launch, which wasn't launched. And she also made the inclination that he didn't have many fans because she was like, "Well, it was easy. We told both your fans not to come, and that was it."
Yeah, I don't blame him for being mad. I would be mad.
There's a lot of back and forth between Liam and Fallon. In the beginning, of course, they don't get along. There seems to be Fallon is petty and is going to shelve Liam's book and not publish it. She does not want to work with Liam. She still has a vendetta since the ski trip, and there's been bad blood ever since. And here's the thing: Liam thinks, of course, that Fallon did this on purpose to hurt him, not knowing the backstory, and even brings it up and says, "Is this a coincidence? Like you showed up at the ski lodge?" And she's like, "Yeah, no, it's not. It's a coincidence that you happen to be at this publishing company. I didn't plan for that. But now that it's happened, let me take advantage of this situation and of you." And of course, is trying to keep the little people down and tries to keep Liam down. Remember, the $6 million, Liam doesn't need the money. Let's not forget that Liam is independently wealthy and comes from a very wealthy family of his own. So it's more about the principles between these two. The principles of pettiness versus the principles of Liam's accomplishment. Liam isn't a writer. He wants to write. That's a secret passion. He writes this book. And the book, Fallon claims to have read it and doesn't.
Big mistake.
What did you think when Fallon called the book trash at the book launch? How did you feel for Liam?
I knew from the beginning it would be about her because he kept bringing it up, saying, please read it, and she kept brushing it off. I don't know how she could even just not, because it's an ex-boyfriend of hers and she still obviously likes him. Why wouldn't she just open the book and even just read the first chapter? I don't get where she's coming from sometimes. But obviously she made a big mistake considering what happened. And she
But then
felt bad.
she did read it.
Yeah. In the end. So she needs to just... it bothers me sometimes because she always realizes in the end where she could have just solved the problem at the beginning. If she knew the book was about her, then she could have just...
Well, regardless if the book was about her or not, it was well written, it was clever, and she actually liked the storyline regardless, and it only added to the fact that it was about her. So with Fallon, her pettiness overcame her ego, and we saw a lot of that story arc throughout this episode to begin with, especially when it became down to her and Kirby, which we will talk about later. But her not reading the book was a Fallon thing to do. Her reading the book and apologizing and changing her mind, now that's the growth of Fallon. This is a new Fallon that's coming to play.
Yeah, I like it. She's finally becoming sensitive.
Or something.
Or something. Or she's, falling back
She's
in
falling
love.
into her steps. And sure, there might still be fireworks between the two. Possibly. But what we do know is that she is now going to publish Liam's book.
Yes.
And it seems to be a book that contains some allegory to their own personal storyline.
And he's using his real name.
He's decided to use his real name. Well, that and because John Southside did sound very silly.
Yeah.
John Southside, is he a rapper?
I personally like it, but yeah.
Is he an indigenous person? Is he... Like, I don't understand where he got John Southside. Is he... Where is he going with this...
It's such a fake Ghost Rider stage name.
It is.
But to each their own. Luckily, he's publishing it in his own name, but that could go really... that could go really bad.
And also, it could be illusion because their lives are very public. So it's as if... if he publishes it under his own name, people will catch on to the Fallon... Yeah. The same way if Ray J wrote a book and it was about a girl who had a reality show.
Named, I don't know, Kathy. I'm trying to think of someone with the K.
Kathy Kardashian. And you're like, Cam Kardashian?
Yeah, everyone's going to find out.
You would just kind of realize it's about this person. So it might, but at least we know with Liam that the fiance is no longer in the picture.
Yeah, he says they haven't talked in weeks.
Yeah.
Is he telling the truth, we think?
Yes. I do not think Liam is a liar.
Okay.
When it comes to the moral compass, Liam seems to be a good person.
Yeah, he does.
The only thing that he does that's morally corrupt is actually really like Fallon, because Fallon is the angle of moral corruption, who is actually becoming a better person.
Yeah.
What did you think about Letting Your Soul Glow, Gloria Collins?
Well, I think she's nice. I don't think there's anything bad about her. She just kind of, it was, I guess it was difficult to see her real personality because she's being, they're showering her in gifts. They're taking her to the house. And she's like, oh, but I haven't signed yet. So she keeps repeating herself. So I was like, why does she keep saying that? Someone's going to come in and maybe, I don't know.
Scooper. Well, she did mention Doubleday and how she has these big offers.
So,
and $6 million means your book is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
That's not a little number, especially when it comes to books.
So I wasn't really, I really like her throughout the episode because I was kind of skeptical, like, why does she keep bringing that up? But I guess she was trying to be careful. But then we see, obviously, she wants to sign.
She does. She
Fallon.
signs the Imperial.
Yes.
They show her. Fallon had to earn her, though. Let's not act like Gloria was
millions
on her own.
Dollars or whatever.
I mean, she earned her, and it wasn't the millions of dollars. It was the care that she showed at the party.
Exactly.
In fact, when she threw money at the problem, it did not work. Mm-hmm. Gloria reverted back to going back to the coffee house and writings. I need to be around real people. I need to be about real things. Then Fallon actually took Kirby's advice and listened to Gloria and realized grandma and all these things actually pay a big price. And bringing grandmother to write the foreword and reactivating her into writing life, which was a big deal for Gloria. Mm-hmm. I really liked the actress. I really liked She was beautiful. She had this great look to her, a great glow to her. She literally glowed, like the concept.
Yeah.
So great selection, great casting on that part.
Yeah, and we'll definitely see way more of her.
I hope so, because she's going to be the face of the publishing company.
Yeah,
so she's going to be the one that they push.
Yeah.
She's going to be the one that they talk about. And, you know, honestly, frank discussions on finding your inner female self in a patriarchal world is always a good thing. So hopefully we get
that's a bestseller.
A lot more of Gloria Collins and her enlightenment. All right?
I like to read that book.
Yeah, when it comes to enlightenment, I feel like here at AfterBuzz, we are extremely enlightened, especially when it comes to all of your favorite after your shows, because we talk about them and do all the after shows. So, Maddie?
Yes, thank you so much, guys, for being on YouTube, being in our live chat, watching me and Tehran right now. We're so thankful. We're the ESPN of TV Talk. We need your help to grow a little bit, though. If you could just make sure you subscribe every time you watch, give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, and leave us a comment. That helps so much. We couldn't do the show without you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of AfterBuzz TV. It means so much to both of us, all of us here on the network. Thank you so much once again for supporting us and all the shows that we do. It's amazing.
We appreciate you. And remember, the panel isn't just us. It's all of you at home. We appreciate you and your comments. So please comment below. You know, we go through them all. I've learned so much from a lot of especially the people who have knowledge of the previous dynasty and comparing and contrasting.
Yeah.
It's great to hear from you. And the people who have theories, a lot of your theories are outrageous, and they're right, because anything can happen on Dynasty. As we see Enlightened Jeff come to play. Enlightened Jeff is coming off the accident. Enlightened Jeff goes into this rude awakening, and when I say awakening, I mean definitely being woke, looking for his mother, wanting to tap into the community, wants to be a good person, wants to give up vendetta, and now we see the other Jeff is back.
Oh, yeah, he shows up right in the office. And he's like, yeah, I'm throwing a party. I'm going to do this, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, my gosh. Him and Adam, it's not a good combo.
I mean, they're definitely dangerous, and they're definitely setting up to be a rivalry. But here comes Jeff into the office and saying, I want an office. I'm a silent partner. I'm not going to be silent anymore. You guys did this, so I'm going to do that. It's tit for tat when it comes to Jeff. He wants vengeance. He wants revenge. He wants to put Blake in his place. And he's doing so in the way that Jeff does. He videos Adam basically swapping out the urine sample of PJ, who is back on drugs, and PJ being their star player. Right. And of course, he videotapes it knowing that Blake will do something, putting the team, Blake and Adam, in jeopardy. But does it with no regard. No regard. He's like, I don't care. I want to bring Blake down. He'll bring Blake down almost by any means necessary. What do you think of the enlightened Jeff? Do you like having him back, this darker Jeff, back on?
Well, this is bad to say, but I don't think he'll last very long with Adam in the picture, because they're both, now Adam sees him as a threat, obviously. And we saw what happened at the end with the poisoning of the paint and whatnot. So there's only room for one of them in that office.
There is only room for one of them.
Which sucks.
Which one do you think is going to prevail?
I'd hate to see Jeff go, but I think Adam is crazy
He's
and
ruthless.
Brilliant, as you said. So I think Jeff's going to not hold out. Or Jeff's pretty smart, though, on his own. He could probably...
He's definitely a great rival for Jeff. He's a great rival for Adam. I mean, they're definitely setting it up as a huge rivalry. We see Jeff videotaping Adam. We see them butt heads throughout the scenes. We see Adam try to gain Jeff's trust. We notice the little facial movements and body movements, and the body language shows that Jeff does not trust Adam one iota.
From the second they met at the hospital when Alexis was in her bandages, he knows. Jeff isn't stupid. He knows that Adam is crazy and he's on to him. So they're just going to butt heads in the office. And I don't want Jeff to leave, though. I don't like Adam. I know you think he's brilliant and whatever, but...
I love Adam because he adds a dynamic to the show that wasn't there. It adds the X factor. It's anything can happen as long as Adam's on there. So we know Blake will be Blake, and Cristal will be Cristal, and Fallon, as she grows, will still be Fallon. But with Adam, we never know which Adam we are going to get.
Right.
That's the concept. We're looking at it, So it's very interesting to see that character and that character arc, because with Adam, everything is a dangerous situation. Adam he loves Blake. He seems to be Blake's sidekick and protege. He can turn on Blake in an instant.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what makes him so exciting.
Yeah, and it's just funny how he goes up to, it was Blake's partner, someone he works with, and then Adam goes up to the son who's interested in a medicine, like sports medicine.
Exactly. So it was the commissioner of the soccer.
Yeah, right. And then
the soccer league. And Jeff had sent the video to the commissioner thinking it's going to be the ruin of Adam. Yeah. I mean, the ruin of Blake. And the commissioner comes in and Jeff is so confident, like, oh, the commissioner's going to have something to say. And they had already set that plan in motion where his nephew is now the sports medicine internist on the team. And the commissioner goes, I don't know, the video is fuzzy and we love Blake and
my son Roger wants to be in sports medicine. He should intern for you.
He is. Thank you. He has a position. He
so
gets
it's
that
like,
position.
it's also planned out. Adam's a genius, obviously. He already knew that.
Adam, and I think that Blake is finding that necessary appreciation for having an Adam, a strategist, someone who he can rely on and will do the dirty work, because Blake smirks and is happy that Adam is so mischievous and conniving and manipulative. Blake appreciates that. And it's like, you really are a Carrington.
Yeah, like father, like son, I guess.
More son, more like son, like father. Cristal's family gives a warning, but it really wasn't from Cristal's family.
Yeah, okay, so Cristal and Sam.
Sure.
She told him finally everything, and Freddie, the driver, is passed out. He can't remember anything, and they have that crest. I'm surprised they actually went to that length to scare Blake.
Well, they needed to scare Blake into action. When confronted, Blake says, there's a saying amongst billionaires, if nobody wants you dead, you're not screwing over the right people. That's a thing that Blake says. Basically, he thinks that there's no problem. I don't think he understands the extent of what Cristal's family is is willing to go through. And here's the thing about Cristal's family, because they tried to set up the team with a ringer, someone who would be able to throw games, and Cristal, of course, did not comply, and that seems to be a conflict. When Cristal is this afraid, now we've seen Cristal be unafraid of many things. When Cristal is this afraid of something, maybe we should pay attention. Cristal is deathly afraid, and deathly, I'm using that word figuratively, metaphorically, and literally, deathly afraid of her father. Her father is more conniving, scheming, and notorious than Blake is.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Blake is still a businessman. Her father is a gangster, and I use the hard R.
I think that it's going to take a lot more than the driver passing out and having a crest on the car than to scare Blake, because he's been through it all. Like, they need, unfortunately, I hope this doesn't happen to anyone, like someone needs to die or something really extreme for him to really, really take it seriously.
Well, I think he did take it seriously, because now he wants to bulletproof the house and the windows and everything. Now he is actually taking it seriously, because Cristal went through the length of having Sam set up the driver to fall asleep and look like he was taken out, and left a family crest on the window. But of course, that's more of a Spaniard thing than it is Mexican.
I think something bigger is going to happen, and it's almost strange that something huge didn't happen yet, so that's why Cristal's freaking out. I don't think it's going to be anything to do with their house. Like, maybe it'll be with Steven. Will he come back? Or, I don't know. There'll be some twist.
We're definitely going to get hopefully a glimpse of Cristal's family, because they've been hinting at it for so long. Now we're going to need to get that payoff. Let's switch gears into Michael. Michael is a big boy, or at least he thinks he is, but turns out he's still being manipulated by Blake, and finds that out the hard way from Jeff.
I feel bad for him. I want him to do so well. I like him better than Jeff, I think. And I really, really like him and Kirby now.
You like Michael. You're shipping Michael and Kirby. Well, let's talk
like
Michael first. Let's talk about the concept of Michael and Jeff, and the concept of Michael we see a confrontation with Blake where there's this $10 million that's missing, and Blake basically says, shut up and mind your business. You're lucky to even be here. And then at the end, we see Michael and Jeff, who have been nemesis for so long. They've been at each other's throats, and now we see them come to be where they are allies.
I like it. I think that I wouldn't be surprised if like Michael and Jeff kind of did something on their own and maybe got Blake out of the picture at one point.
Maybe. I mean, that looks like it's what it's gearing up to do.
Yeah,
maybe take over the soccer team, and that could start a whole thing.
Because they're probably just sick of Blake at this point. So
sure.
they're like,
Blake's been controlling everything.
Yeah. So
Blake is
like,
a puppet master.
Yeah. So I like that. I think they should do their own thing, and I guess we'll see, right?
Yeah, we'll see, because of course Jeff goes to Michael and tells him about the Blake plot to blackmail him was actually a Blake continuation. Jeff said, I pulled back, and Blake went through with it anyway. So you think you've earned this, but you're not. This is a give me. This is a redemption for Blake, simply because he probably feels bad for putting you through this and breaking you up. But you still work for him. You're not a partner. He does not respect you.
Yeah.
Michael, of course, takes that in, internalizes it, and comes back and hands Jeff the keys to the kingdom in that $10 million recuperation, where it's like, where did this money go? What is going on? And gives him the financials. That is the key to a lot of big things happening. You tapped on Kirby and Michael. Let's talk about shipping them. Are we Curbane? Hashtag Curbane if you're shipping Kirby and Michael, if you think it's okay. Kirby, of course, being Kirby Sanders, is basically the half-sister of Fallon.
Yeah, basically. Well, like a step. Yeah.
Because
of Steven. Yeah. So
Steven is Sanders' dad.
Yes.
I mean, Sanders is Steven's dad with Fallon's mom.
Right.
Who Steven thought, of course, Blake was his dad, but it turns out it's Sanders. Now, Steven's sister is Kirby because of Sanders.
Right.
So Fallon is Steven's sister, and Kirby is Steven's sister.
Right.
So they are sisters once removed.
Yes. You know, in the beginning, I didn't think it was a good idea with Kirby and Colbys, but now that I see them, I think I like it. I think
Kirby and Colbys definitely make a hot couple. Kirby looked amazing this episode. They spiced her up. They gave her a little more gloss, a little more glitter, a little more her shapeliness. We saw some Kirby legs. I mean, wow, she was on fire this episode.
I like it because I think she has a lot of good qualities in her that are similar to Fallon's good qualities, but she shows it a lot better.
Yeah,
and
she's sweeter.
Yes, and I think that's what Colbys sees in her. So he's like, not like he's going to compare them, but they're similar. Kirby's more positive, and she just has this like brighter light to her, where Fallon was just always kind of complaining, or it's not good enough for her, or maybe he didn't feel good enough because he was.
Well, Kirby didn't grow up with all the privilege that Fallon did, so maybe a lot of the stuff has a lot more meaning for her. She enjoys her position. She enjoys working to the point where she tries to juggle working for Colbys and working for Fallon, ultimately choosing to work with Fallon because she passionately believes in that work, and passionately she's the one, for example, that finds Gloria Collins and knows about her and gives Fallon all the tips on how to get her in her corner. So Kirby's coming into her own, and it's a story arc that we are grateful to see as Kirby is growing as a character and her dynamic is beginning to show.
Yeah, I like them together. I think that they would be happy. I don't think Colbys and Fallon will be back together anytime soon.
Well, not especially after this. Do you think it's okay that Kirby is making her move on Colbys and vice versa? I mean, let's be honest. That is her sister once removed's ex-fiance.
She wasn't too cool about it because she was more of the one hitting on him, I think. Like, she kept making passes at him, and then he finally was
But she was also the one who was wary of hooking up, and Colbys kind of just said...
She egged it on, though.
She might have egged it on, but that doesn't mean she gave consent. Let's realize that. At
least in the end, she admitted it to Fallon. And I was really surprised that Fallon wasn't extremely mad. But I guess we don't know, because maybe Fallon is planning something.
I don't think so. I think this is the growth of Fallon. This is a Fallon who realized, and Gloria is the one who planted, it should be women and women together. It needs to stop being women against women, especially for the sake of men. And Fallon realizes, hey, I'm not with this guy. I'm growing. I'm not mad at you. I'm upset you did not tell me the truth, which is definitely a viable reason to be upset. She's justified in that. But she says in her growth, it's okay. You can date who you want to date, except for Liam, and that's because Fallon loves Liam, and that seems to be inflaming. But with Fallon and Kirby, their relationship has not always been so good. It's been rocky. Even as kids, we hear the story about the Barbies and how Fallon used to steal Kirby's Barbies and then sell them back to her and just bully Kirby. And Kirby's clearly forgiven Fallon, and Fallon is now growing into becoming friends with Kirby. And that's a friendship that Fallon needs. Fallon doesn't really have friends.
Yeah,
she has allies. She doesn't have friends. Her only friends are Sam and Kirby. And her and Sam haven't been together. Not saying that they're not friendly, but they haven't been, because there's no common enemy for a little while. And so they haven't worked together since coming back from France.
They could become best friends.
They could. They really could.
They're on their way to it.
That's definitely, I mean, she did let her borrow clothes, and that's huge for Fallon, who never let her borrow clothes. And we finally get a new face on Alexis, and it's a whopper. It's Fallon's face. It's a version of Fallon's face, so to speak.
Well, in the start, when I saw, the face reveal, I was like, oh my God, that actress looks so much like Fallon, but they put more makeup on or something. And I was like, oh wait, it's her.
I know. It's Fallon.
I know, but I thought, because I was so convinced there was going to be another actress that was playing Alexis, and then it's a good idea though, because obviously a daughter and the mother should look alike, and knowing Adam and Alexis and everything, it's actually quite clever of Adam, because Fallon is going to be very upset.
Yeah,
it's her twin, basically.
It's her twin. Now Alexis looks like Fallon. And here we see Adam give Alexis the look when Jeff is left alone with her, because you don't want them to teaming up against Adam. Adam is playing the consummate son, but he's the one who put her in this position in the first place, and he is the one who is the most dangerous person on the show.
Right.
And it shows. So Jeff comes in to visit Alexis and show his respects, and Adam gives the look. Alexis sees his face, and she's surprisingly happy with it. Why do you think she was happy?
Well, I think she wants to look younger. I didn't think she was like, oh my God, I look like Fallon. I'm so excited. But
she was happy. She was happy that she was younger. She was like, this looks great. I'm happy. I love my new face. She was on board with it.
Oh, this is going to be a nightmare, because I feel like she's just going to put a wig on at times to pretend that she's Fallon.
I don't know.
It's
going in a direction, right?
I don't know if that'll happen right away, but that's an idea. So considering how Alexis is, maybe she'll pretend to be Fallon in certain situations.
Yeah.
I think that the reason why she's so happy is because she thought she'd have she was all burnt and whatever, and now she looks 20 years younger. I didn't really think that she was like, oh my God, I look just like my daughter. I want to look like my daughter, but she's just happy she's not burnt.
Well, I think it's also she loves Fallon's face. She has always loved her daughter, and this is a great look. It does make her look a lot younger, and like mother like daughter, the way you said, like father like son. So we will find out. Let's get into some quick news and gossip. The news and gossip, of course, is the fact that, and it was revealed that Elizabeth Gillies was playing Alexis Carrington, which came as a surprise. It was only released 2 days ago, this information. This information was kept heavily under wraps. CW and Dynasty has done an amazing job of doing so. However, it was revealed on Daily Express and the Boston Herald, which both put it out, and everybody was surprised as who's replacing Nicolette Sheridan, and this is where it goes. And so now we get the CW network gives us the actual reveal, and Digital Spy, who broke the news, it definitely went viral. It was trending all over. Let's play our favorite game. Where are we? Where we pick our favorite outfit of the show. Maddie Pocks.
I'm going to have to say all of Kirby's, because they did like a makeover on her.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's because like they wanted it to be her and Cole Hain finally hook up, and he's noticing her because has her makeup all done. Her hair looked lighter, I felt.
It had a more vibrant red to it.
Mm-hmm. Like it looked very shiny, and
sure,
it was
had
all
a lot
done.
more sheen.
She was wearing really, it wasn't like revealing outfits, but like really like clinging to her curves.
Well, I don't think they were sexual, but they were very sensual, and there was a sensuality to her that we hadn't seen before.
Yeah, so all of her outfits, that's my answer.
That's a great answer. Mine's going to have to be Sam's karate outfit, where the blue one, where when he was kicking and he doesn't know the power of his own kicks, he can't contain them as he's learning Taekwondo from Sanders. That's going to be the one because that looked the most like a bathrobe, and it's probably what I'd most likely wear, even though I'm not in a bathrobe today. Let's talk predictions.
Oh.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Let's talk predictions. So, Maddie, Pocks.
Okay. Fallon and Liam are going to hook up. Doesn't mean they're going to start dating right away. They almost hooked up, but they have to...
They gave a look. They didn't almost hook up. They gave a look. There was a look. There was definitely tension.
She could have hooked up with them, but she walked away.
She did. She wants to do it right.
But that's going to happen, for sure.
And what else?
I think... Okay, so... Kirby, Cole Hain, maybe they'll hook up again, but then Kirby's going to go on that tour, right, with Glow. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe Cole Hain will go with her.
Okay, well, I'm gonna see everything you said and raise you an Adam and Jeff doesn't die. Because it looks like Jeff's going to die. He's definitely going to get sick, but I don't think he dies. And he realizes what happened with Adam, and he'll know, and he'll figure it all out. And Jeff will be the unraveling of Adam.
He's going to dig into, like, deep and find out everything about him. So hopefully, I like Adam around because, creates drama, but I don't really want him killing off people. So hopefully, Jeff can get to the bottom of it with that.
Real quick tidbit, of course, is Monica, Jeff's sister, taking the picture of Kirby and Cole Hain hooking up and sending it to Jeff, who then forwarded it to Fallon and starts the whole thing. But then it didn't go as planned because Fallon's growth becomes enlightened, and she's like, we're going to work together. We're going to be friends. I will be a better friend to you. So we have so much to find out. And where can people find you if you want to be found, Maddie Pocks?
I would like to be found. I'm on Instagram at Maddie Pocks. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I can't wait for next episode. We have so much to discuss.
We do have so much to discuss as we get closer and closer to the series finale. Can't wait to find out what happens on this season of Dynasty. Thankfully, we have a season 3, so we know there's so much more. And of course, if you want some more of me, you can find me at I Am Tehran all across the board. That's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And on a slew of other AfterBuzz after shows, hosting and talking and discussing your favorite shows. So thank you so much for tuning in each and every week. We will see you same Dynasty time, same Dynasty channel next week as we discuss episode 18, which seems to be a doozy. It's gonna get crazy as we find out life is a masquerade party. Until then, we will buzz you later.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.